Have you always been politically active?
Well, so in the run up to the Iraq War, I got really, really politically active. I ran one of the largest anti-war websites in the United States at the time.
What was it?
It was, please don't go there. I haven't updated it in like 10 years, but it was called stopthewarmachine.org.
Okay, I thought the name of the website was going to be "Please Don't Go There," which I was like, that's really clever. Stop the War Machine's great too, but yeah, I thought it was going to be "Please don't go there." Like, hey GW, Iraq, please don't go, dude. Come on, just stop.
That is a clever one too.
But it's stopthewarmachine.org.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about revamping it?
Many times. So I'm a web designer, and that was the first like website that I really built, and I built it for a group in Albuquerque, New Mexico, run by this great guy named Bob Anderson, who ran for Congress too. But so I was really active. I helped organize some protests and that sort of thing. But then the war just kept going on and on, no matter what we did. And so I became super disenchanted with politics, very cynical. I voted, but that was like that's all I was going to do was vote, because it was all rigged. Nobody listened except for one guy named Senator Bernie Sanders. He was pretty cool and led some anti-war marches and that sort of thing and spoke out against it. So he was okay in my book, but pretty much everyone else was crappy. So I checked out. And then when Bernie Sanders announced that he was going to run for president in 2015, I was like, well, I guess if he's going to run, I got to get involved again.
Well, I know. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
No, I was just going to say, you were talking about like politicians that were kind of okay with it, or that were actually speaking out. And since you're in the Northwest, I'm pretty sure, and this was before I was in Seattle too. This was years before, but I think it's like Jim McDermott at the time was like they did this anti-war thing, and this was right after. Like, this was shortly after 9/11. So even up there were a lot of people that were just like, no, weapons of mass destruction. But it was Jim McDermott and just a handful of people that were like, yeah, we're not going to do this, right? This is a really shitty idea. We shouldn't do this, right? So there were some people, even in politics that were speaking out against it, but they were few and far between.
Yeah, Jim McDermott has retired, and now the new person is Pramila Jayapal, who's the lead sponsor of Medicare for All. So in that district. So yeah, I signed up to go to Bernie Sanders' first rally in Seattle, and the day of, I was like, oh, Seattle traffic, I don't really want to go because it's going to take me 45 minutes to get there and then parking. But what if a whole bunch of other people say they don't want to go and nobody goes, and so it looks like he doesn't have support, so I got to go. And I went, and it was like lines, thousands, tens of thousands of people. I didn't even make it in. I was standing outside with the overflow crowd, and it was that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in believing that we need things like Medicare for All or a living wage. The media always paints us as like far left and it's never going to happen, and ponies and pines. And so like I said, I was cynical and disillusioned because I bought into all that, and seeing how many other people felt the same way I did inspired me to get involved again. And so I actually ran to be national delegate, but I didn't make it. But then I got chosen to be a super volunteer for Bernie Sanders in Philadelphia.
That's a thing?
Yeah. There were like, I think about 180 of us super volunteers that were going to work the convention and that sort of thing. The night before the convention, the Bernie campaign called me and said they couldn't get anybody to drive surrogates the next day, and would I be willing to do that? And I was like, I don't want to drive delegates, because I didn't know what the hell a surrogate was. I just like converted the word to delegate in my mind because I didn't know what it was. And I was like, well, if nobody else will do it, I guess, I'm here for you guys. I'll do whatever you want. And so
I am a super volunteer.
Yep, exactly. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. So the next day we were having orientation, And they were like, oh, Susan Sarandon, blah, 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 Danny Glover, if you want a selfie with them, just be cool, about it. And I was like, what are they talking about? Susan Sarandon and Danny Glover and Nina Turner. Like, that's not who we're driving, is it? And sure enough.
Nice.
I chauffeured Susan Sarandon and Danny Glover.
Which one of them sat shotgun?
They were separate because they were driving to different hotels to give talks, but they both sat shotgun.
Nice.
At separate times.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
We don't want you. You're not a chauffeur. You're a super volunteer. I'm sitting shoddy. We're gonna talk. Did you pick out the tunes, or did you let them pick out the tunes?
Well, that was one of the rules. We couldn't play the radio. So, yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure why, but that was one of the rules. So
I would have let my passenger decide. I've been like, do you want tunes? Do you not want tunes? And if so, what are you feeling?
Yeah, I could have asked, because it would have been interesting to just know what they like to listen to when, on their time off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I'd imagine they both have pretty good taste in music, if I had to take a guess.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your